Hello everyone, this is Luke, and welcome to the Battle of Neige. This is a battle between the Divini Arcana Ordinum, primarily, with support from the Remnant Federation and Sea Cavalry, up against the Silver Zephyr Coalition City of Neige and some associated defenses. That there was just some damage to try to match what those vehicles had health-wise before the battle started. This is a post many battles before it, because as you can tell, this is very large. Especially the super battleship that our camera is currently approaching. This bad boy is the capital ship of 6IF, which was a fleet quickly built through the power of great debt maxing. Actually, it's 5IF, not 6IF. Sorry. Which is kind of the only hope at this point for the Silver Zephyr Coalition. And do not worry, their economy has suffered direly to be able to make this thing. And were the season going to continue longer, they would almost certainly enter complete economic collapse due to their choices during this conflict. But as is, they get their ship and they get basically no more production capacity for the foreseeable future. Now, the Silver Zephyr definitely have the material advantage in this, both between the fairly expensive defenses and the massive fleet. Especially this big ship here. You can see that it doesn't have all the turrets on it. That's because it's actually only half complete. Because you can't, even if I let you spawn a big battleship quicker than I otherwise might, I will not necessarily get it completely finished and for fairly cheap. In this case, they got to spend a lot of money creating a port capable of building that thing, shipyard capable of building it. And even then, they only got half of the ship built in one turn. Here we see the defenses and the tanks kind of just chilling. Like one of the tanks is looking at the defenses, but he's really not all that keen about it. We can also see a bunch of the airships closing in now over the ocean. Here we actually have two of the airships that collided together, which was very bad luck for them, because that just totally did a ton of damage, brought them to the ground, and completely prevented them from working together. I'm not sure exactly what caused them to crash and roll over. I'm guessing like they just got caught in each other, but there was no reason it should have needed to cause that. Especially given I think they should have done that. Overall, though, you can see there's been a lot of damage done to the Dow. Some of the tanks are looking worse for wear. A lot of the airships are damaged. And of course, two of them crashed. Make that 3, as this one was obviously not brought down by a collision, but just by damage. I know the turret defenses are very high pin, and I think some of I think the really big battleship is also about the same way. Here you can see that both Remnant first craft are looking a little bit worse for wear. Clearly, underwater is not where first craft are meant to be, and the other one's pretty damaged as well. And of course, the super battleship has beached itself, which is where it will remain for the remainder of the battle. Because of course it would. This tank's pretty well damaged, just vibing out with the defenses. Similarly ignoring him. I love just how big of a thing target plyo has been this campaign, like if there's been one issue that is consistently present in battles, it's target prioritization. You could also say, like, pathfinding, you've got a decent number of stuff that runs aground, or other quality control issues. So much of the time it's bad target prioritization. You could argue it's still not bad that they're targeting the things that they are, but generally closer's better. And so rarely is closeness given priority it should have. We can see there's one other really big Dow walkers here, but it's fairly well on its own. Occasionally getting shot at, but not suffering too bad. The two vehicles right there you can see that are still airborne are the carrier craft. They're not very well armed, if at all. And with main firepower, I think they're IUCAs or something like that. With the main firepower being grounded, and of course, with that grounding, most of their sub-objects or sub-vehicles destroyed or heavily damaged, then they're not able to do too much. One remnant thruster craft is left, but it's been old. It's only Swiss cheese, and the other one is either gone or stuck in the water somewhere, probably destroyed with the we saw earlier. Here we can see there's still some helicopters left, but this one is, like, way off the map compared to the rest. I don't think we have any actual functioning helicopters this time. There from that crane. That ship overall is looking pretty high health. Although some ships are as low as like 7%. That big tank obviously lost its turret, whereas this one has a somewhat damaged turret. And then I think both of the little crab walkers are still alive, even if one of them is very far. Or other one. Because grounding wasn't enough, we now had a ship decide to join the grounding ship. This thing's taken quite a bit of damage, but it's really not had that much of an effect just because of how thick the armor is, and a lot of it's pretty empty too, since not all the turrets are installed. I didn't notice this when it was live, but apparently they've got clear missiles. That's pretty neat. Now, I totally could have also sped up this footage even more, but it's already practically seizure-inducing with some of those quick moves. Now, this battle, I think when we recorded it live, it was so many hours. It was at least 2 hours, I think, maybe even 3. But suffice to say, we didn't get quite as much filming as we wanted done that day. That's just kind of the nature of big battles, though. Beyond this point, really not a lot happens. It's just slowly damage getting transferred across. Unfortunately, the big guy's got a lot of his turrets are jammed, or at least not as efficient as they could be. So it's just missiles gradually pouring in, APS finding their marks eventually. This wasn't our worst battle as far as time it took to run. But maybe as a ratio of eventfulness to time, it was certainly one of the less good ones. Even though a lot of bolts are being fired, so many are missing. Here, one of the downed airships has finally despawned, you can see. And the damage is pretty extensive. Now, a lot of that was from the collisions, but definitely not all of it. There was quite a bit of incoming fire as well. I do like the aesthetic of those gears on the outside, even though that makes no sense to have gears like that inside of a clearly inside of a hull that's clearly been designed to be a rigid vessel for holding hydrogen or helium. I don't know if it canonically does or not, but it is it's kind of the look that it exudes on it. There's not too much I can say here, really. I think I'll go ahead and leave the rest of the video without commentary, because it's really just more of the same, and there's only so much interest I can add to that by application of my lovely voice. So I'll leave the rest of it up to you if you want to watch it. Otherwise, thank you all for watching. And the other two videos should be coming on pretty shortly, once I get them edited and or commentated. Awesome. Have a great one.